Welcome back to Education 4767. Today we'll be taking a look at models of web-based teaching. There's a wide range of ways in which web-based teaching is being used in classrooms today. Some examples that we're going to take a look at specifically are web-based teaching simply at the content integration level. We'll then move on to take a look at web-based teaching at the content generation level. We'll look at web-based project-based learning. And we'll finally finish taking a look at fully online delivery. Now, I would consider these different places along a continuum, and that continuum would range from the easiest and the least amount of technical skill on the part of the instructor to the most involved and the most amount of skill from the instructor or teacher. So web-based content integration is about the starting point for most teachers to start using web-based learning with their students. We're not actually going to take a look too much at this. This is actually covered in one of the intro courses, but this would be an example of simply bringing in some websites, having students go out and look at information on the internet, and then bring that back into what you're doing in the classroom. This I would consider the least amount of technical skill required for the teacher because they're simply utilizing resources that are already available out there. Nothing wrong with this activity. It may be the simplest and easiest for an instructor to create, but that doesn't mean that it's a simple activity or learning experience for the student. It can be very, very powerful as a teaching tool. But again, it's the least involved as far as the instructor's knowledge and technical ability. The next stop or major stop along that continuum would be where the instructor or teacher begins to create their own content. Now again, slightly more difficult. The teacher needs to be able to prepare and post that content somewhere online. It involves learning maybe new programs, figuring out what the best tools are to use, and this is really where this course begins. This is the lowest level of integration that we're talking about, because in this course we are talking about generating your own content. The nice thing about this is that it allows you to tailor the content and the learning experience specifically to your students in your classroom. You can't always find on the internet exactly what you're looking for. Well, when you start to create your own content, you can create it the way that you need it and the way that you want to utilize it with your students. Again, gives you more control, more flexibility, and allows you to really address the needs of your students with that learning activity. This is where this course will start, and we will progress from here. Now, web-based, project-based learning, I would envision as a full step higher than this. Now again, this is a continuum. There would be steps along the way in this, but this is kind of the next major milestone. And what I mean by this is we're beginning to create not just simple activities, but we're creating an entire project that's web-based. And part of that expectation would be that your students are going to generate web-based products from that as well. So you've added another level of complexity. Not only are you posting the instructions and the resources to go along with that project, but you need to then instruct your students on how to prepare web-based product to then present back to the rest of the class or even a larger community. So that simple fact of the student preparing content for delivery on the web increases your knowledge and your understanding, because you need to be able to then teach them how to use some of these tools. And in often situations, you're going to have to teach them a wide variety if you're going to allow them to express themselves with different tools depending on what they're doing. But you're opening up the audience for their product or their work, so they can now share this with their classmates, they can share this with their friends outside of your class, and it's something that really changes the focus of the activity for the students. They're no longer just presenting material to you, but it needs to stand up to their friends and their family in some situations. Pretty big jump, and this is quite involved. This would be where I would hope to see some of your work progressing after you leave this course, and we're definitely going to talk about project-based learning within this course. Now, I would see the final step in the evolution of this being fully online delivery and fully online learning. Some of you will have the opportunity to teach in this kind of environment. I have. We're obviously delivering this course in a fully online fashion, but I've actually taught K to 12, actually junior high to grade 12 in a fully online environment as well. It adds a whole new level of complexity, because in all of the previous models, we've been able to back up what we're doing with a face-to-face component. So you have the opportunity to meet with your students daily, see how they're reacting to the work that they're going through, see how they're struggling, and address those issues in a face-to-face manner. When you move to fully online delivery, you don't have that face-to-face interaction. And so what you need to do is you need to actually create all of the things that you would need to utilize in a face-to-face environment in a fully online environment in order to fully address your students' needs as far as communication, checking with them, reviewing their work, giving them feedback. All of that has to be done in an online manner. And it's not easy to do. It takes time, it takes a lot of work, and it takes participation from both yourself and the students. It's very easy for a student to hide in an online environment unless you create situations that they need to specifically engage in. And I'm going to model that in this course. It will be quite difficult for students to hide in this course because they're constantly going to need to interact with both myself and with other students in the course. So that's the continuum that we're going to sort of look at and address as we move through this course. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them online.